Good morning, Chris.
Yeah. Why do you sigh when you come on with me?
I came in hot today. Like I'm feeling a little rushed. So
a little flustered,
a little flustered. And I have two great dad jokes, and I'm trying to decide which one to use.
Really? I mean, that's
yeah.
such
I have a dad joke quandary.
Well, I'll tell you, things aren't great in my house right now.
Oh, I'm sorry. Why, Chris?
Yeah, it's kind of tough. I mean, we're having this conversation with my wife, and she goes, "Look, once and for all, I really need to know every woman you've ever been with." And I said, "Okay." Probably should have stopped when I got to her name on the list.
Oh. Chris, never blame others for the road you're on. It's your own asphalt. Okay, good.
Oh God, that is so bad. It's your own
that is really bad. Yes. I guess the other one will come later.
Yeah, I mean, let's just sprinkle it in. How about, I mean, you always do the outro, so why don't we do it? Like, really, this is a dad joke podcast that might talk
we
a
should
little
not
bit about
the podcast with dad jokes. They're only for us anyway, so.
Anthony, why do some founders get replies from total strangers while your emails get ignored, Anthony? I know they get ignored. I ignore your emails. It's just
I can't get my wife to listen to me. How do I get people that I don't know to listen to me?
I think we're going to find out today. Research from Boomerang analyzed 5.3 million emails and found messages between 50 and 125 words get the highest response rates. Yet most founders either write novels or fire off 3-sentence pitches. When Hiten Shah launched his SaaS products, he built his early customer base through cold email outreach by spending 30 minutes researching each recipient before writing a single word. That investment in understanding inbox psychology turned strangers into allies who wanted to help. Today on How to Founder Anthony, we are talking about cold email hacks.
Very tactical. I love it.
Chris Franks with me today is Mr. Anthony Franco, but we are joined by Lirone Glikman. How did I do in my terrible, terrible French accent, Lirone?
You were great. Hi, Chris. Lirone. Hi, Anthony. Good morning. I'm so happy to be here today, and I don't have dad jokes. I'm sorry. I won't be able to join you on this.
Don't worry. That actually raises the quality of the show if you don't have any dad jokes.
I'll do my best.
Lirone Glikman is a globally recognized expert on networking, personal branding, and business relationships. She spent 20 years building connections across 26 countries, consulting Fortune 500 companies and governments on authentic relationship building. She's a founder of the Human Factor Method and wrote the Super Connectors Playbook. Show it, Lirone. You have it handy.
Wait.
I mean, it is
like fancy.
To help, it is fancy. To help founders turn zero networks into real opportunities. Lirone, thank you for being here. We're happy to have you. We trade emails. I actually kind of like this subject. It's I don't know how to get people's attention. Sometimes I write too long. Also, I should probably check my spelling more frequently, grammar, syntax. How do I need to start thinking about this idea of sending an email to somebody and them actually paying attention to it. I'm going to guess there's probably a series of steps, but just start by helping us frame this in our minds.
Wow. Okay. So you asked a big question. First of all, like everything in life, I believe it starts in the mindset, right? Because do you believe people would answer you, or do you think they won't? I mean, many times when I teach and consult on this relationship and how to approach people we don't know and get things happen, the first thing is that people think strangers would never answer them, and they kind of underestimating their own value or product or chances of success. So the first thing is in the mind. Believe that, hey, you can make it. Maybe it will take you 60, 99 times, but there are people out there that want to help you. That's for one. So the mindset is key to start with. Then, as you said, it's a series of actions, and I like the data that you just shared as well, because it's not an accurate science, but there are different steps that we can take to, as you mentioned, turning a stranger into an ally who wants to help us, even though he never met us before and just communicated with us on LinkedIn.
Anthony, mindset. You got to start with a positive mindset.
I've said this before. I've tried that positive thinking crap, and I knew it wasn't going to work, and I was right.
It's not only positive thinking. Many people believe that people don't want to help them. And my thing, and also again, traveling, my story started when I was 16, knocked on the CEO's of radio station door, and I told him, hey, I want to become a radio presenter. He said, okay, $20 per month and you get it. Then I moved by myself to Sydney, Australia. English is not my first language. I had a very, very bad English. And I knocked on another radio station CEO's door, and he told me, your English sucks, but I like your vibe, and I'm going to give you a show with really bad English. Then I worked in another corporate knowing someone introduced me to someone. Then I moved to New York by myself, and I was able, what I'm trying to say here is that I see it like as the world is my oyster. Then I'm knocking on doors, and some would say yes and some would say no, but believe that some people would want to help you, and the world is not, against you. So it's not positive. It's more knowing that there are a lot of people that want to help me if I'll push the right button, if I'll connect them in the right way.
Anthony, I do think the world's against you. Nobody else.
The world against Anthony.
It's not.
I knew it.
Everybody. It's a nice name for a podcast.
You're not paranoid if they're really after you.
If the world really is against you, Anthony, it's not paranoia.
Yeah.
I'm gonna grab my tinfoil hat.
I think what Lirone said is quite right. I have this delusional mindset that I'm helping the person out by reaching out to them. It sounds really funny, but it's like,
great.
I have this thing that you need to know
narcissism,
about.
Anthony. It's called narcissism.
It maybe is. But I do have that. Like, I'm not reaching out to somebody if it feels like I'm asking my mom for money. Like, that's the wrong mindset. It's got to be like, hey, I really think that you have something to gain from just taking a look at this. It's even better if that's actually true, right? Right. Like, maybe there's something of value that you can offer first before asking for something second. Sorry, I don't want to lead the witness here, Lirone, but I do agree with you on mindset. Yeah.
It wouldn't be necessarily the order of, hey, give me something, but it all starts with a mindset, because we feel stuff, right? Through the way we write, through the length of the mail we write. We don't even need to read a message on LinkedIn today. Just by looking at it, how it's structured and length, we can understand if it's a spam or not, right? We are very sensitive to that these days. But this is why, first of all, it's about understanding, okay, I will do it. Maybe I'll need to do it 60 or 100 times, but I believe that I have something good to share with other people, and some people would answer me. So that would be the baseline. Essentially, if we want to approach people in a cold way and get them to answer us, my best bet is to, first of all, offer them some, or maybe first of all, try to warm the relationship a bit, and second of all, try to offer them something. Warm means that if I just like your post or or comment about something you just wrote. Or if I send you a connection request, either without writing anything or even write, "Hi, Anthony, I'm like a fan of your show and I would like to connect with you." You don't ask for
Immediately
anything, you
accept it.
compliment
If somebody
people.
says that they actually listen to our show, I'm like, oh my God.
Well,
Oh my
first of
God,
all,
you're the one
do
who
they
listens
really-
to our show.
Right.
I was waiting
love
for you.
it. I have a fan. Of course I'm going to accept your connection.
How do you react to such messages from people who approach you and just ask to connect with you on LinkedIn before
first
they
of
ask
all, I'm
something?
still
That's a
waiting
great
for
way
that
of
person
looking
to
at it.
actually do it. Yeah.
That goes into mindset, but that's a great way of looking at it. Like, first of all, when you're writing something to someone, the first thing you should do is, how would I receive this? Like, if you can truly be objective, how would I? That is the number one question. I think that's a great question to ask.
I think so. There's this idea, and I think that we're getting to, and I think that first one about accepting that, starting with this mindset. If you don't have something that you genuinely believe that you're offering the person on the other end of whatever communication channel that is, it's going to be hard for you to get excited and write that. But the second piece that we're looking at here is this idea of framing and how we approach the actual message and how we're communicating. So I've got the right mindset. I'm excited. I believe I'm going to be providing value. There's two ideas that I've come across down through the years, and I think I know your answer, Lirone, but I'm going to ask it anyway. One is emails are free. I can send an unlimited amount of emails. If I send enough emails, somebody like Anthony that actually reads their emails is actually going to read it. It's going to get through. It's not going to go to spam, and they're going to respond to that email. It's a numbers game.
Yeah.
The other one is, hey, this is simply one way to go build a relationship, and I'm going to spend time and energy researching and understanding that person to be able to send that email. Which one do you recommend, or is there a third way to think about it?
So personally, and from my vast experience coming from business development and sending messages to people from across the world, it's about the second one. So I look at it as a yes/no answer. If I'll approach you and it's a absolutely cold email, "Hi Chris, my name is Lirone. I want to offer you this and that. What do you say?" You either won't answer me or say yes or say no. But then I get usually one response here or there, and most likely it would be a no. Also, it says, and I think now it's even more based on researches, that about 55% or so of emails or messages in a day are spam. And I think the number is even higher today. So we want to be in this very small percentage that is not coming across as spam. So we need to be a bit more creative here. And being creative meaning to build trust. And like in when we go to the shop and want to buy a product, same with people and human interaction, there is the sequence of know, like, trust. Then in order for me to approach Chris and ensure that he might answer me, then I want him, first of all, to know that I exist, that there's a woman called Lirone with this very weird name from somewhere in Europe, that she exists. Secondly, I want you to like me a bit. Then I want you to trust me a bit. And then I'm increasing the chances of you to answer me. How do I do it? First of all, you know of me through sending you a connection request, or sending or liking you, or sharing a comment. Again, I'm talking on LinkedIn, but it also can be on other platforms or email. Building trust is a bit harder, but if let's say if I'm sending a message on LinkedIn or a comment on one of your posts, and then you go on my profile and you see that I look trustworthy based on my picture. I studied at UTS University in Sydney, so it looks okay. I worked with Microsoft and different companies. I said, okay, she's legit. I can trust her. Then you might want to answer me. Then you might value me more. Now, not everyone can have those this legit background. And then it's also about what you say or how you say it. And that also brings me to the value. Now you said, okay, maybe my product is great and maybe I can give them a great product or a great solution, but it's not only about a product. Value can be so many different things. A compliment is also giving someone value, right? And if I'm going back to the trust factor, if I tell you, hey, I'm listening to your podcast, you might this is also a value, but you might trust me a bit more. And if I'm telling you, hey, Joseph just mentioned your name and he's a mutual friend and he said I should contact you, then that's also builds trust. So There are different aspects of trust, value, and being interesting enough for you to answer me.
So you shouldn't start with negging the other person. So every time I email Anthony and it's like, you smell bad, but I still have some message I'd like to deliver. Okay, that's interesting. All right, so I want to get mechanics of this, and then I'm going to go through an exercise with us, which is the best message that we've received, connection request, etc. But there's two parts of an email message. The first one is always the subject line. It's true in LinkedIn. It's that first little bit. Maybe you have a little preview pane there that you actually see a couple of lines of your message. But how do I do that? I've got to get through this notion of the subject line. And I know that there's a lot of spammy stuff that comes, and I feel like everybody's, a question for you, ... I mean, there's all kinds of different ways and thoughts around the subject line. How do you approach it?
So it's first of all, it's customized for every person and what I want from them and how I want to connect with them. But it's also about how do I build a relationship? How do I talk to about something they value and that will attract them, because I understand I'm competing on attention here. But also we need to make sure that we're not like exaggerating, so we'll come across as sketchy, as not so trustworthy. So I usually write their names. Because I wanted to take their attention. And then I try, as we say also in German, tachlis, I try to go to the bottom line, or share something in the line that it's kind of what I want, or something very specific that will attract them. So it could be a question about your podcast, or a collaboration opportunity about, I'll add another word, so it will be kind of a longer, but still very specific. For example, I'll share a story about how I approached a reporter when I did an event at UCL many years ago. And eventually I approached about maybe 30 sports reporters. And then we had a conversation with 7, and then 2 of them posted articles. One of them was at USA Today. And the title was Name. I don't really remember how he exactly wrote it, but it was something about name. I would like to introduce you to sports startups, or introduction to sports startups. So the value I'm giving her or him was right in the like subject line. So writing the name and then a line that would attract them based on what they want.
Anthony, what do you think? What have you done something similar? Or do you have a different approach or a similar approach?
Subject lines are tricky, right? Because I have this really, really, really strong allergy to spam, and so I am very careful about how I write my subject lines when I'm reaching out to somebody cold. I like the format that you mentioned. I haven't really done that. I do try to like make the subject like, this is why I'm emailing you, and it's not to sell you something. I might be hedging too much though. Like I might hedge too much in my subject lines and in my content.
Interesting. I think that
it's also cultural based. No, sorry. Like also there is a cultural base, or a person who you're approaching. Was it an investor or someone else? Or
I think that the point
does
that you're
matter.
making, right, is the piece that I'm taking away from this part of the conversation is the idea of framing. And framing is, how can you make sure that you're crafting a message where the person on the other end actually gets to vote? And so the vast majority of emails are just me sitting here and I'm thinking about what I want and what I need and what my wants, needs, desires, etc. And Lirone, what you said was really what I should be doing is thinking about the receiver first, and then crafting a message whereby I'm trying to provide them value, get their attention, make sure I can show them that they're it's worthy of reading my message. Okay, as we move into the actual. Go ahead, Anthony. Sorry.
I want to talk a little bit about format, but I want to do it in a unique way here, Chris, if I can.
Please.
So I've been prompting a lot, and so my mind space now is in like, how do I write prompts, and it's actually defining how I actually live my life. So I'm
I was
living.
going to say it's actually probably pretty interesting because now you have to deconstruct
but one of the things that I have been leveraging quite a bit in AI is not patterns, but anti-patterns, like things not to do, which provide much better content than here's what you should do or here's what you should say. So can we look at this from a framework perspective of what you should never do?
Yes, I will say that, and then I'll share my structure for a cold email or a cold message.
Oh, awesome. Great.
But let's start with what not to do. So what not to do is not send a copy paste email to everyone. I mean, people, make sure it's personable. You want to know that if you get a message from me, I didn't send it to 100 people in the same format. You want to know that I really researched on you and really checked on you, and I'm really here because I'm a fan of yours and your work. And as Chris said earlier, I mean, there are greater chances to get people to connect with you if you're doing the research. And even Sales Navigator today can help you, and other tools can help you really find your mutual groups or any other topics that you could probably start a conversation on. So don't be a generalist. Make sure you're writing a personal message. And I mean, to a certain extent, some people you would research them for hours because they're very important for you. And some of them you will not have the capacity to research for hours. So, and I also have an answer to that, how I use this type. Another thing not to do is don't end the email with a full stop. End it with a question mark. Research shows that if you end it with a question mark, well, what to do next? Can I send you my CV? Can we set a call? Can you direct me? Can I ask for your advice? When we see a question mark, the chances to get answered get higher by 20% because our brain, it's kind of a pop-up. When we see a question mark, there is something about us that wants to answer it. So always make sure not to end the email with a full stop sentence.
Anthony, hold on. I just want to interject that we need to now end our podcast with a question. Please like us?
Please like us?
Please follow us? Question. Continue. Go ahead.
No, it's like, please follow us. What other topics would you like to learn about? Question mark. Take it to another. Get them more engaged.
That's good. All right. I like it, Anthony. All right. Change the show format.
I want you to keep my copyrights on this.
One anti-pattern that I recognize everybody breaking is you should never start with something like, the world in your industry is chaotic. Like instant spam, like, oh, if you're telling me what my life looks like in the first sentence, you don't know me. Like you're trying to tell me what my life looks like, or you're trying to tell me that you understand me in a cold email. That absolutely is like instant spam filters.
I want to do two things before we get to the speed round. But the first one is I want you guys to each of you give me an example of a really outstanding cold outreach that you've gotten in the past several weeks. Mm-hmm. I just pulled up mine. I had the entry was we had this mutual company that we both helped at the times, like, hey, I worked for this company and this person that we had in common. And then she said, also, startups are my love language. And I was like, that's such a great line because I wouldn't say that, but also I love startups and being around startups. And then after that, of course, I read and of course I responded because right within that, she established trust and credibility, Lirone, and then showed that we have this mutual interest in love. What about y'all? Lirone, what's a really good one that you've gotten, not necessarily one that you've received? Or that you've sent, sorry, one that you've received, not sent.
I remember this young student. He was just about to finish his university studies, and he sent me a very beautiful message. First of all, he was like sharing, "Hi, I saw you online, and you were very interesting." I mean, he gave me a compliment. I really love what you do, and that's why I'm approaching you. So he gave me a compliment. I'm like, okay, thank you. Let's move to the next line. And then he shared that he comes from this I would say bad neighborhood and kind of a harsh background, and he was able to build a business. Well, I mean, he shared with me his entrepreneurial mindset and what he did so far, and that he's approaching people he look up to and would like to meet with them to learn more about them, and if I could spare maybe 30 minutes to speak with him and share a few, of my, share me from my knowledge. And he touched me because in many ways I was there. We were all there. We were all students. We were all, struggling in different ways. And the way he approached me also ended with, like, I will accept any answer. I mean, I'm not pushing you, whether you say or not. I'm still there. And yeah, he was. He's not a startup founder yet, like we're talking with, but you can maybe take it to and try to tap in your messages on people's emotion, or on kind of for them to identify with your current state. Either looking to grow a company, really passionate about what you're doing, trying to find a way. So try to connect with them maybe on the emotional level, something that they can relate to.
Anthony, what about you? Give me one that you've received.
Well, what's interesting is I was thinking, so that worked on Lirone, but it would not work on me.
Mm-hmm.
So
flattery will get you nowhere with Anthony.
Well, first of all,
okay. I love diversity.
I hear it so often. No, so
yeah.
No,
I think people are lying if they flatter me.
Exactly right. It's probably my self-deprecating nature that I'm like, you're full of it. But and then the broader, like, the emotional hook to why I should read on about them. It feels too early in a cold email. It's like it's almost like socializing with people in real life. You're not going to go up and say, "Hi, I'm Anthony. I grew up homeless." Like, you're not going to start there, right? You're not going to start with. So I always try to think about what would that initial conversation look like when I approach somebody, and it's really hard for me because I'm socially awkward in real life. So that's very, very difficult for me to imagine it. But I when somebody tries to approach me with the get to know them first, what I like, what I want to have, and the patterns that work for me are really short, like, value my time, and be clear up front what you're asking for. Like, here's what I'm offering, here's what I'm asking for. Would you like to connect? And the other thing is, if you're going to try and be funny, you better be funny.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it's like, you shouldn't. And it. If you can make somebody laugh in real life, it doesn't mean you can make somebody laugh over LinkedIn or over an email either. So you better be sure it really resonates for that person. And as always, avoid politics, avoid religion when you're trying to be funny or in any way.
I just want to make sure that you were kind of deprecating yourself, like, hey, look, I'm kind of awkward in real life. I mean, Anthony, you're also awkward online too. So don't just say.
Fair enough. Thank you for that.
I want to mention something about what you just said, and also share my structure, what I really do when I send cold calls. But what I mentioned was actually also in a certain cultural setting. So I know where this person is coming from. We're more connected on a cultural base, and also the culture is very direct. So I mean, it's maybe for this kind of room, maybe this was, as you said, too upfront, too
no, it worked for you.
Yeah,
it worked.
Yeah.
Like, it
I
worked
know
for
where
you.
he's
That's
coming
great.
from.
I just wanted to point out the fact that it worked for you, but didn't work for me. Therefore, personalization really matters. I wasn't saying that you shouldn't do that, but it was great because it worked with you. Yeah.
Because
sorry,
if
I didn't mean to say
someone,
that.
from alumni of your university approaches you and you don't know them, you might give them a bit more credit because he's an alumni of your university and you understand where he's coming from immediately, that's what I'm saying. Sometimes people, I call it like our golden circles. So people are coming from different circles that we're both like related to. We never met them before, but if it's your distant relative or someone again from that went to high school with you, or goes to the same gym with you, or the same, I don't know, business community, then you might trust them because you know where they're coming from. But can I share with you the structure of
please.
cold email? Okay. So we talked about the title. The structure after, again, sending like, I don't know, thousands or tens of thousands of emails through my career goes like this. The first, it's like a few lines. The first line would be a connecting line. So every word, our attention goes away with every word that we read, right? So the first part should be either a specific compliment. No, oh my God, you're looking so good today. Or I like your profile. No, it's like, I really enjoyed your episode on how to do cold calls. And I learned specific things from it. So give a very specific compliment, or share a name of a mutual friend who connected us. Hey, Johnny said that I should connect you. And since you know him, I'm here, and you know Johnny, so you know this is legit. That each of them either like give a compliment or share a person's name would actually get me to read the next line. And then the next line is like, what do I want from you? Why do I want, again, I don't want to waste your time. So my name is Lirone, and I'm approaching you because I would like to get your advice on how to work with startups in Colorado, for example. And then I want to build trust, because he's like, okay, she wants it, but why should I help her? So I've been working with startups for the last 15 years, and I've been helping them to get X amount of whatever on their stuff. And then I can do some name dropping of some companies I worked, or some amounts I was able to help them earn. And then I end with a question mark. Can I send a talk? Can I send you more information, or so on? So the first line is a connecting line that wants you to read further. The second line is what I want from you. The third line is my credibility. Why should you listen to me? And then the fourth one is a short question mark. Is a short, like a request for, call to action, or what I want to do next. Now, I want to share with you this. Earlier I shared about this email I sent to UCL with sports reporters, and this was a bit different, but it was also very useful. So I approached them and I said, okay, I want them to come to my event, but everyone approached them and said, come to my event, or everyone approached investors and tell them, hey, I want you to invest in me. So I actually approached them with value. What can I give them? So the first line, and it was generic for 30 different reporters, but it made sense to them. It's like, hey, it was back in 2016. So, hey, I know we both share the passion for sports, but are you into sports innovation? ? So that was kind of an intriguing question. Yeah, we share mutual ground, but hey, am I into sports innovation? And then I'm reaching out. My name is Lirone, and I'm reaching out to you because I want to offer you, I have an access to the most amazing startups in basketball. It was around the NBA All-Star to basketball startups. And I want to give you an access to them and ask which one would you like maybe to interview? And then who am I? So I was working in a company that works with sports startups. We work with Microsoft, with ASICS, with Sky Sports, or whatever. Can we set a call? So essentially, I offered them value. I created a very appealing first line. Then I offered them to introduce them to startups, build my credibility, and then set a call, which resulted in 7 calls and 2 articles, and obviously connection to startups.
So I love the structure, and we got to get to this speed round. But Anthony, I want to ask you one question, because this is always the 10,000-pound gorilla, or whatever you want to say. You are the most educated person on AI. You got the spam song. Jeez. I was like, Chris, what is going on? This is completely gone off the rails. Anthony, artificial intelligence,
yes,
AI and personalized email. How can you use it? Is it a viable thing to put into your email outreach? How can I think about that?
Quickly. The short answer is yes. The long answer is be really careful, because if you try to do mass outreach using AI will go off the rails and make you sound like an idiot. So
I already sound like an idiot. So I mean,
fair enough. Maybe
how
for
much-
you and I, it makes us sound authentic.
Right.
But
yeah, it's glad it sounds smarter. Yeah.
But yeah, just be really careful.
Be very careful. All right, Lirone, are you
Don't
ready
use the
for
M dash. Sorry, the M dash is so AI. So
The
don't use
EM dash is a big outlier. 3-sentence patterns is something that's off. Like you have to force AI not to sound like AI, which is it's a trick. Yeah.
I'd say it's okay to do the research and bullet points, but you have to write it yourself. All right, for the speed round. All right, I'm going to ask you a series of questions. The first thing that pops into your head: cold email on Monday morning or Thursday afternoon?
Monday morning.
Somebody in your company just emailed a prospect. Do you email them or do you wait?
I would email them.
Email them anyway. Good CRM, Anthony. Good CRM.
Yeah, good.
All right, this is a hot topic.
Oh, this is good.
You used emojis in your subject line, or is that non-professional?
I would not use emojis in my subject line. Maybe,
Anthony,
maybe
what
at
do
the
you
end.
think? Are
what do you say?
you an
Anthony?
emoji?
So
Are you an emoji?
interesting fact. I read somewhere that in dating profiles, if you use an emoji in your dating profile, it reduces the response rate by 25%. So it's got to be true also in emails.
It's probably true. They opened 3 times but didn't reply. Should you follow up or move on?
Follow up one last time, possibly.
Would you name drop a mutual connection that you barely know? Let's say maybe somebody you're connected with on LinkedIn, but you don't even know how, or to get their attention, or is that a bad idea?
I would, but if I barely know them, then I would mention it. If it's relevant, I would mention that in a way that I know them briefly. So it won't be too awkward.
Yeah, it's like I'm connected with this person. I don't really know. Great conversation. Yeah, Anthony, what did you learn from today's episode?
So I wrote down quite a bit. This was a great episode. The first thing I wrote down is whether you believe you can or you can't, you're right? So that mindset thing. Personalize each beyond there and do that beyond just, hey, first name. Don't use, hey, first name as a joke. It's not funny. Establish trust, offer value. And then I want to write down these patterns that Lirone gave us. It's the subject line format, name, and then a non-spammy hook with value. I love that. The body is line 1 is connect with a specific compliment or a specific mutual connection, or I added, or a mutual common connection point, something where you share the same ground. Line 2, what do I want from you? Line 3, establish credibility. And line 4, end with a question mark, be specific with your ask, make it easy to say yes. 2 patterns on that. Good pattern is, would you be willing to? Bad pattern is, let me know if.
I like that. I think it's pretty good.
And if you can like them or comment about some of their posts before you send the email, then you're not really, really a stranger. You're just cold. You're not ice cold.
Yeah.
Deep Dive Resources, Never Eat Alone by Keith Ferrazzi. The Like Switch by Jack Schaefer. That's a great book. Influence, Robert Cialdini. It's the book that every entrepreneur must read. The Super Connectors Playbook by one Lirone Glikman. We're all going to go get your book. Where can we find it?
Thank you.
Can we
The
go
Super
to Amazon?
Connectors Playbook is it's a bestseller. It's on Amazon. I'm doing book tours. Actually, I just came back from a book tour in Asia. Now I'm going to the Baltics. I'm coming to the US in January, February for a book tour. And yeah, it's on Amazon, the Super Connectors Playbook. It's basically shows my 6-pillar method, the human factor method to achieve goals through relationship building. And I'm really excited for you to read it, enjoy it, learn stories about people from around the world, but very, very business focused. So that's my legacy to the world.
Yeah, we're going to learn to be super connectors, Anthony. It's going to be great. It's because
and you're great, guys. By the way, you're really good. I really enjoyed this conversation with you. Even though you have the dead jokes, but that's also great. I wish I had bad jokes. I don't have them. I just have bad jokes. So
bad jokes are bad jokes.
I think you probably use the synonym dad jokes to bad jokes.
I think this is a great tactical episode, Lirone. I really do appreciate you coming on, and everybody that's tuned in. Thank you all so much for listening. Please be sure to visit us at howtofounder.com, where you can connect with us on LinkedIn and subscribe to our YouTube, Apple Podcasts, and Spotify channels. I think this episode deserves a good review. If it doesn't, then don't leave one. But if it does, please leave us a good review on Apple or on Spotify.
Hold on. Please leave us a good review? ?
Oh, would you be willing to leave us a good review? How's that? All right.
No, it's like, leave us a good review. What would you like to hear next?
There you go.
You are the pioneers of economic prosperity, and we're just grateful for being along the way. Take care, everybody. Bye.